In the summertime, it's not unusual to pick up 600 cans. You get about a penny a piece for them, maybe a little more than that now.
A lone figure in the morning breeze moves slowly through the cottonwoods and mesquite trees, searching for what someone else has tossed aside. Robert E. L. Smith is after cans.
And I walk around the park here every morning, have for years and years, gathered up aluminum cans. And the other day I sold $28 worth. Yeah, you see that little red building yonder? That little bench you got there, little green bench? I like to get out there and just kind of meditate and contemplate.
Now, it's not often we stop and listen to a man who picks up cans, but Mr. Smith, who's called Lamesa his home for more than 80 years, is kind of a front porch economist of sorts. And he has strong opinions on the current state of modern finance.
I've never had a credit card in my life. I came from a very poor family. But we learned something by that. We have never made a house payment in our life. We have never paid a day's rent in our life. We've never had a credit card in our life. We bought one new car one time and paid it out on the installment plan, and the new smell went out before I got it paid for.
Robert is quick to tell you he's a frugal man, not one to throw away money. He comes by it naturally, being raised on a West Texas dirt farm way back in the Depression. In fact, in a plain, unmarked building, this economist is an historian and a curator, if you will, of a most unlikely collection.
It's pretty congested in here, as you can see. I realize it's kind of crowded, you know, but I like to think of my little museum here as Depression Expression.
Historians will tell you the Great Depression of the 1930s was when hunger and heartache became the national pastime. It was the worst economic collapse in our history, and it hit West Texas especially hard. Robert Smith was just a boy back then, but he still carries the scars of back-breaking work and suffering times just to eat. It's all here, lost in a cluttered barn where the pieces of the Great Depression lie in state. And Robert wants folks to appreciate a way of life that we hope to never see again.
You know, when you grow up in it, and then you can see it fading away. Since World War II, we've seen this just completely going out of existence, you know. And I said, somebody needs to hold on to that. I really think that hard labor is good for a person. You learn something about endurance, how to survive in hard times.
He has rescued an entire decade. That's why Robert couldn't let the last one-room schoolhouse in the county be bulldozed. It's now part of his museum complex.
This is the Loveland School. It was located just inside the Gaines County line. I could see this was just being demolished by Father Time, and I hated to see it completely destroyed and gone down, and so I made a trade for it and brought it in. A lot of times I'll come in here and I can just, I think, well, how many youngsters have just sat here and stared out those windows? How many boys and girls, where are they now, that run in and out of these doors, you know, and so on? The time just slips by, you know.
There were were no signs, no parking lot, no long lines waiting to get in the day we dropped by Robert E.L. Smith's Museum of the Great Depression. Makes no difference, though. For the last 60 years, he's been the collector and curator, saving the memories of an old West Texas dirt farm and picking up cans to help keep his museum alive.
This is not just old stuff that I've got here, but it's a lesson in survival. There will never be another generation like the ones that survived the Depression of the 30s.